What's going on, folks? It is Steve, and it is race day today, man. Big race today. The AeroDesigns 225 here at New Atlanta Motor Speedway. Basically, the mini Daytona is up tonight. Super Speedway racing in 30-plus cars, getting it down today. Man, cannot wait to get this thing going, to figure out who's going to be in the Championship 12, but also who's out, right? Lots of implications today. We'll get to those as we get going. Right now, though, it is qualifying. I'm going to go down trackside to see what is going on here today already. Only one lap these drivers get, so keep that in mind. One lap. How key will this be right now? Michael Johnson coming on via Lobos, flying around right here as we speak. Huge implications. Again, only 5 minutes, so these guys get one lap to complete, and that is it. There it is. A lot of these guys are getting it down to it. Trevor Zalazny, man, he has come so close. A couple of these last races, getting down to it, man. Awesome stuff right here. Austin Salyers running that high lane. Nick Lights, all their paint schemes popping in. Sometimes that can happen. Matthew Fleming on track as well. A lot of these guys are needing to get themselves a win today. A win today locks them into the Championship 12. And man, who can get that done? James Kaufman on track. Here he is, another guy who can get that win today. Andrew Phipps currently on the pole. Tyler Dohar sneaks it through right there for a P2. Looking really good so far. Big shout out to all the folks watching right now on YouTube, also on X. Big following now on X. We started broadcasting as well, simulcast onto X, so go and check us out at ASRA iRacing. You can find us there as well. Drop a like and subscribe. Do all those cool things. We appreciate it. Mark Whitley right now, man. Tell you what, Mark Whitley right now, 3 points out of that Championship 12. He needs a good day today. Kind of gave it away last week at Auto Club. Today's a big day for him. Mealy, another one. Sits about 7 points above that cutoff line. Needs a good day. A lot can happen. Andrew Phipps still on the pole right now. About 30 seconds left to go. Celzano done. Fleming coming in for a zoomer, maybe slowing down a bit, so it looks like he's going to be done there. Greg Robinson. That right there, folks, might be it. Robinson going to be, can't really tell if he's on a flyer or just kind of practicing some laps here, but nothing just yet. There it is, checker flag. So Andrew Phipps will be our pole sitter today. Huge day for him. He's the kind of guy that needs a win today to get himself in that Championship 12. Right now, we're going to walk into a warm-up session. This is 5 minutes. They'll give a quick little time here to practice some pit road entry and exit, things like that. They kind of get warmed up here. So let's take a quick second. Again, big thanks to AeroDesigns, by the way, the title sponsor of today's race. AeroDesigns is basically like a portrait studio for iRacing, right? So if you want to get like professionally done paint scheme portraits or pictures, you know, the really nice ones, you can go to that website that's pinned in the chat on YouTube and fill out the form on the website. You can kind of check out the whole process there, and they will get done for you. Really good stuff, and man, professional quality images. So it's kind of like school picture day, except it's virtual online cars. But it's pretty cool. A lot of these guys going to come out real quick, do a bit of a pit party, as they call it. Smart move to practice as they go around. So real quick, let's talk about the implications today. The implications. So look at this. This is a big day. Point standings as they are right now. Here they are. So this is key. Crawford, Bowie, Anderson, right? All these guys in the green. They're good to go. But one thing that this graph doesn't show you, Barroso, Mealy, Bates, and Whitley. Those are really the four drivers fighting for getting into that top 12 based on points. Now, if they win today, that's obviously they're locked in. But if they don't win, that's the current situation. Now, what they can't have to happen is somebody below them win a race or win this race, because that means everybody else will get knocked down one. So that's going to be key right there. But drivers on the other side of it too, Brandon Bowie, Anderson, Michael Johnson, and Brandon Six. Doesn't look like it there on the graphic, but they are fighting for the regular season championship, which right now is between 25 points. So at the end of today's race, that driver can walk away with 15 bonus playoff points walking into the playoffs. And man, that is huge. I look at Michael Johnson, right, who right now is, top of the leaderboards as far as regular season standings. But if he finishes ahead of those guys, he gets 15 playoff points, right? And those carry throughout the entire playoffs. That could be huge. Contender playoffs, obviously. Right now, Whitley is the top of that. A couple of guys aren't here, right? Tim Robb, we don't see him here today so far, unless I'm wrong there, but a couple of guys, Jacob Weist. So, like, in the Challenger Championship, a lot of guys here are going to be moving around, but at the end of this race, once all the math is settled and all the flags are waved, this will determine what championship everyone's in. Now, obviously, everybody wants to be in that top 12, that lime green, but the contenders and the challengers are still pretty cool as well. So, a lot going on today, and about a couple minutes left to go here before the warm-up ends and the racing begins. Big field today, 30 plus drivers in the field. And by the way, folks, this track, Atlanta, has lights now, so we're going to see some nighttime racing as this thing continues. Atlanta never used to have lights here in the sim, but now they do in the recent update. So we're going to see some really cool stuff as we get going, and cannot wait to get this thing rolling, man. A lot of things on the line. We'll cover them also as we see them. You can see it right here. Green flag, pit stop practice. That will be key. There's Devin Smecker, that Hydra paint scheme, the Doom one. Still rocking it after the Cardano Summit Showdown. Looking pretty good today. Awesome stuff. Already 40 people on YouTube. Love that, guys. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, subscribe button, man. It actually goes a long way as far as YouTube algorithms and all the inner workings of YouTube. Really cool stuff. Thank you for that. And then also on X right now, we see you guys too. Don't worry. Going to be a good race. Couple of things left to warm up real fast, but we're going to get down to it. Let us know in the chat, either chat, who is your favorite driver? Who is going to win this race today? Give me your picks, because a lot can happen. Super Speedway Racing, you just never know what can happen, right? Marshall Harris, man, can he win this race today? I think he could, right? It's that much of a wild card. Super Speedway Racing on a shorter 1.5 mile track. A lot can go down here as warm-up is about to end. White flag is out, so that's going to be it. Checkered flag, excuse me. So we're going to be good to go here as we get this thing going. We're going to go down trackside in just a second once we get the go-ahead. High above Atlanta Motor Speedway, man, this place is going to be an absolute barn burner of a race. 150 laps. Stages will be laps 25 and 75. So a long way to go. But fuel, not going to be an issue, really. 75% fuel, so these guys not going to worry about that too much. But man, good stuff. Let's get down to it. Trackside right now for the AeroDesigns 225. Start to find out what these guys have going on here today. On the pole right now, there he is. Andrew Phipps looking really, really good. Starting it off. Tyler Dohar in P2, Joseph Mealy in P3, Jackson Anderson P4, Trevor Zelazny in P5, Brandon Bowie, last week's winner, in P6, going for that regular season championship himself. Christian Angel, P7, Matthew Fleming in P8. Mark Whitley, there he is, needs 3 points today. Needs to do better than Dylan Bates, Frankie, and Joseph Mealy to get it going unless there's a new winner. A lot of things can happen today. Nick Light's rolling off right behind him. Thomas George, Brandon Six, locked in already based on points. Max Brady, Grant Salzano, Dylan Bates, there he is. He's a good race today for sure. Grant Salzano, Michael Johnson, a contender for the regular season championship, has not won yet. Could that be today? Daryl Young, super speedway aficionado, rolling off P17. Kenny Reel, Joshua Sobel, Kaufman, rounding out the top 20. Last 30 drivers are going to be Sobel, Ponce, Villalobos, Smecker, Salyers, Griffith, Harris, Scott Gasorn, Frankie Barroso, Robinson, and Stubblefield, rounding up the field. Crawford looks like he is maybe on track. Looks like he came in late. We'll see how that works out for him. But here we go. Yellow flag still up. We're going to get one more lap to go here before we go green. And man, we are going to get this thing. I am so pumped up for this race. Last week at Auto Club was a really, really good time. If you weren't here, go and check it back out. Awesome finish. And hey, today, wrapping it up in Atlanta. Obviously, we still have the playoffs to come, so no worries there. But hey, next week, real quick look forward to next week is Tuesday. It's election day, so we're not going to be racing on that day. We're taking that day off. We normally have a bye week anyway in between the regular season and the playoffs, so that works out well. But next week is off. The week after will be our all-star race. Check out our socials for information on that, especially X. And we'll get that going to you folks as well. So shout out to everybody on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it nowadays, and everybody on YouTube. So right now, gonna get going green here. Big race. You can't mess up. No fast repairs, right? No fast repairs. 4 sets of tires. You cannot mess up. If you're a Jackson Anderson, if you're a Tyler Dohar, Bowie, you know, these guys all on the top who have already gotten wins or locked in on points, this is kind of a throwaway race, right, in a way. But those 4 drivers trying to get the regular season championship, that's key. And then you look at the bottom of that 12 too, right? The championship 12. There's 4 guys trying to get themselves in and lock themselves in. So today is going to be implications. That's the word of the day. Big things going on as we've seen them. Here we go. The pace car going to be turning off in just a second. We're going to go 25 laps to decide stage 1's winner. And here we go. Starter cam. There it is right there. Has the green flag in the air. That Geico restart zone. And now we are off. The AeroDesigns 225 regular season finale is go.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, Rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, Rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, we are back, folks. Nothing like some technical difficulties to start off the race. Oh, my word, what the hell? Either way, we are back for now. Up front, Tyler Dohar is leading the race along with Jackson Anderson. Don't worry, the paint schemes will pop in just a second. You gotta love online, internet, virtual racing sometimes, man. It'll get you. Aggravate the hell out of you. Here we go. Tyler Dohar, though, up front. And Jackson Anderson, the 3 wide here. Brandon Bowie way up high. Trying to get it done. Good stuff so far. Lap number 6. There we go. Paint schemes popping in now, folks. Again, apologize for that. No idea why it froze on us at the green flag, but it did. And if it happens again, don't worry. We will be right back. As we just did. Just weird stuff, man. It can happen, though. Dohar up front. Phipps, Mealy, Zelazny, and Anderson. All in your top 5. A lot of these guys right now, part of it too, right? These guys need points. The guys who need points, I'm looking at, anyone really, like a Fleming right here, high above in that red number 88. That's a guy to me who he can point his way into the championship 12. Realistically, though, they need a win. Drivers like Frankie Barroso, Joseph Mealy, Mark Whitley, and Dylan Bates, these guys, they can point their way in. They're kind of right there in that top 12 picture, but a lot of these guys need to get the points, but a win locks yourself in just like that. Jackson Anderson on the outside lane. We saw him win Daytona at the beginning of the season, so he knows how to get this thing done. In a big wreck in the back right here, looks like, can't quite tell, Kenny Reel perhaps. Yes, it is. Looks like Kenny Reel, it might be a 1-car incident. I don't see anybody else involved. Pretty well beat up there for Kenny Reel. This is not what he needed. He was way below the cutoff lines for really all 3 of the playoffs. So that is not good. Let's go back if we can real fast and see if we can kind of find out what happened here. Oh man, yeah, so just kind of a solo car incident. I don't see anybody else really in trouble around him. We'll go back a little bit more. Okay, here we go. So Kenny Reel. Okay, you can see him right behind that pink car, Dylan Bates. Oh, kind of a checkup. Big checkup right there behind the 91. And the 19 of Salyers right there. Amazing how this is only a 1-car incident. But yeah, just off he goes into the outside wall there for Kenny Reel. Stubblefield just gets around him as well. Harrison Kaufman. Tough break for Kenny Reel, but that's the tough break about this track, right? Atlanta. It can be very, very difficult. It's not as wide open and kind of, freer, I guess, or looser than Daytona, Talladega, right? It's close quarters. A lot of it is difficult to kind of navigate, and the stack-ups can happen, right? Because you're going this quick on a tight 1.5 mile track, so it is not an easy task. Either way, Jackson Anderson up front, your leader. Dohar, Fleming, Lights, and Phipps, your top 5 as we sit. Looking pretty good so far. Huge thanks to everybody checking in on us right now. I know there's, 80 people watching online on YouTube. Man, that's a huge number for us. Appreciate you folks for tuning in. Apologize for the gremlins, too, earlier on. Not sure what that was about. As we went green, we missed the first 4 laps, so I apologize. Sometimes, I'll tell you what, I've seen some crazy things when it comes to, I know other broadcasters in iRacing, too, have dealt with some crazy gremlins as of late. So it's not good. I know of, if you guys know of Area iRacing, great league out there. I've seen some of theirs broadcasts. They do a great job, and they've had some crazy stuff too. If you guys recall back to our Daytona race where all the cars were blinking and going crazy, I noticed they had the same issue. So Unfortunately, it can happen to any of us, but it is all good. We're going to be here. If we do somehow, for whatever reason, freeze again, don't worry. Stay right here. We'll be back in a couple minutes, as that can happen. The stream doesn't close, but sometimes iRacing might just freeze. But server issue, who knows? But it's all good. 12 laps into this race already, so lap 25 will be the stage end. We're going to fly to that point right there. And right now, this is going to be huge. So a lot of drivers looking pretty good. Playoff points do matter, right? So if you're like a Tyler Dohar, Anderson, you know, these guys, right, in this front pack, or front, really, row, they're just kind of going for as many points as they can get. Now, Anderson has a possibility of winning the regular season championship in that number 83 blue and red machine you see there. He just needs more points. Right now, he's behind Bowie, Johnson, and 6 by about 20 points in that battle. So needs to get himself into a good standing there. So either way, here we go. Pace car off. Working our first caution of the day, a solo car incident. Kenny Reel getting spun around there after a big checkup. Here we go. Back green this time, lap 13. Let's get it going. Geico restart zone. Dohar, Anderson up front. Neck and neck so far. We're going to see this all race long, folks. Side-by-side action. Tires right now are really good. Obviously, brand new still. 12 laps in. The grip levels are there, especially as we get down to the nighttime. We will see that. Impressive stuff so far. Jackson Anderson still leading the pack right here. As a matter of fact, 3 flagship motorsport drivers up in that top of the pack here. Anderson, Fleming, and Brady. These boys know how to get it done on these super speedways. And you're already seeing, back of the pack here, little mini groups kind of forming. Frankie Broso right here, Devin Smecker. A lot of these guys not wanting to take that risk and get ruined. Brendan Bowie, the same thing. Smart move by those drivers. The big one can happen even at a track like this, 1.5 miles in length, and Jackson Anderson up front doing very, very good so far. "17 laps into the race." Man, you can just see 2 by 2 by 2. And I expect, and here's the thing, if you don't know much about Atlanta, this new version of Atlanta, they can do this for quite a while, the 2 by 2 racing. The outside line at some point becomes faster because the tires start to wear out and it gets really tight down low. So single file racing, if we get a long enough green flag run, will definitely happen. I probably expect to see that happen in stage 3. Most likely, maybe stage 2 before they have to pit, but that can happen for sure. But with no faster pairs, that is going to be super difficult. You've got the one car to deal with, and you cannot make a mistake here. Man, good stuff so far. Let's ride on board real quick. Nick Lights. He seems to be the one right in the middle of all this right here. Nick Lights, there he is. And as we do a Hosky.io hot lap, right in the middle of this madness right here, down low, right behind Tyler Dohar, Nick Light still trying to find that first win this season. It could very well come right here. You can see the high line too, kind of working its way up, making it work very, very good. Low line still competitive in that side draft. Nick looking pretty good though. Steady wheel, Very fast, getting a great push here by one of the very best. Brandon 6 behind him. This is a very, very good job so far by the number 2 machine right there. Good stuff. We're seeing Daryl Young kind of making a move here on the outside in that 71. Not cool, maybe not. Okay, so he was trying to do it, but looks like thought about it. Or thought against it, right? Michael Johnson mired back 3 wide here up against Dylan Bates. Tell you what, there's room for 3 wide, but it is not the most comfortable thing you have ever seen. It can be difficult. But up front, Anderson and Fleming really are working together great. Up front, the high line definitely is the place to be at this track. And we're already starting to see that sun go down. So we're going to get full nighttime conditions at some point. And that means high grip levels and definitely more chances to see this kind of racing all throughout tonight's event. Ooh, big bump right there. Who was that? Was that Johnson and Daryl Young? Door bang each other in turn 1. Extremely close right there, man. You don't want to see that too early on, as we are. Either way, man, good stuff. Lap 23, we're 2 laps away here from the stage 1 end. And so far, it's been all Anderson, Fleming. And then you've got Joseph. Oh, big wreck at the back right here. That's Nick Lights and Grant Salzano. That'll be a yellow flag, and that'll also end stage 1. Matt Pont somehow hits a standing still Grant Salzano. Oof. Hate to see that right there, but man, 2 cars involved. Nick Lights maybe got the worst of it. I can't really tell. It seems like he's going to be okay. Don't see a ton of damage. A driver who's locked in to the playoffs. But man, rough condition right there. So either way, that'll end the stage, since it did happen within 5 laps of the scheduled end. So Jackson Anderson will be your stage winner, and that will help his case big time. Try and wrap up that regular season championship. We'll talk to him in just a second, but right now, not really green, yellow flag pit stops in between the stages. Looking good so far. This is one of those races where I will lose my voice by the end of it, so bear with me, please. Anderson right here. I'm expecting at this point 4 tires and fuel. I don't know if we'll see anybody take a risk and not take tires. It can happen, I feel like, but I don't think it's going to be a huge, turning point for a lot of these guys. So we'll see how this works out. Either way, they'll come down off of pit road. Different strategies. A couple of guys having to fix some damage, obviously. We have Kenny Reel. Oh, a little blurred out there. There he is. Kenny Reel. Bunch of guys, so. Good stuff so far. Marshall Harris stayed out, actually, looking to lead a lap. Not a bad move right there for him, trying to sneak his way through the Challenger playoffs, maybe, and maybe even get a win. We'll see. So Jackson Anderson, will bring him in real quick and talk to him. There he is right there. I'll see if we can sneak him in real fast. I know he's probably with his team. Let's grab him real fast. Where? Here he is. Here's the man, Jackson Anderson, in the 83 stage 1 winner, man. So pretty crazy up there already in the first stage. How's it feel, dude? Getting pretty good up there, staying up front.
I don't know. I'm winning, or was. I don't know. I don't know. I just had great teamwork pushing me to the front with Fleming. So.
All right, man. So far, so good. What's it gonna take to win, dude? I mean, is it getting looser? Is it getting tighter up there? Like, what's the nighttime conditions gonna do? Do you think?
My car is pretty neutral, but for what Fleming was telling me, the car was getting loose as a pusher. So, I'm about to find that out at the second stage, and I feel like as nighttime comes closer, the cars will build tighter, just because the track will be cooling off.
Love that, man. Hey, good luck rest of the way, dude. Impressive
Thank
stuff
you.
so far. There he is. Jackson Anderson. Good stuff. Joseph Mealy going to be on the front row here. Looks like for the beginning of stage 2. Stage 2 going to be a little bit longer. 75 laps will be, or lap 75 will be when we end the stage. A lot going on already. 2 cautions so far. Both for incident. One ended the stage. That last one between Nick Lights and Grant Salzano. Very minimal. I know we didn't go to the replay. I apologize for that. We didn't quite have it at the time. Everything kind of happened all at once. But Jackson Anderson, your stage winner. Here we go. Marshall Harris, Joseph Mealy up front for the beginning of stage number 2. Let's get it going. What do they have here? Green flag is back out. And off we go. Impressive to see right now. Marshall Harris up front. Look at the high line, though. Going to get a huge push from Mealy and from Johnson. Impressive push by that 39. Going to go up high now in Dodge. Mealy, just like that, gets around him. And we expect chaos today, folks, for sure. Everybody is so desperate to get points, to get the win, all kinds of stuff. So, man, aggression levels will be high the entire time today, for sure of it. High line starting to get dominant. You can see it right now. Johnson, Jackson, and Fleming. Earlier on, not on the broadcast, but earlier on before in the pre-race, man, I'll tell you what, Fleming, and some people can back me up on this, Fleming was my pick. You know, earlier on, I feel like Fleming is just, he always does really well at tracks like this, right? Super speedways. He's got a knack for it. And he's looking very, very good early on. Really good pusher. Obviously was pushing Jackson Anderson early on for that first stage. A lot can go down here today for sure. Back in the pack, we're seeing some guys here. William Griffith, Mark Whitley, fighting for it. James Kaufman. Decent spot right here. A lot of these guys, Barroso, Bowie, staying in the back. Just kind of holding on to it for now. Smecker as well. There he is, that beautiful, man, that thing is so sick looking, right? Doom by Hydra, or Hydra on Cardano, excuse me, on the hood of that, in the side panels, man, looking slick today. A couple of guys involved in the wrecks, by the way. Kenny Reel has the front ends pretty well repaired back up, looks pretty decent right now, which is great. Nick Light's involved. Car looks pretty clean, and then Grant Salzano, pretty well dinged up, unfortunately. But still time to fix that car for sure. Just has to get through this race. And right now, up front, Mealy and Harris running 1 and 2. And good stuff so far. Up front, Dylan Bates. Here's a guy right here who needs a good points day. Currently in P4. He's amongst that 4-man group. Again, between Barroso, Whitley, Joseph Mealy, and Mark Whitley, who all need good points days to lock themselves in that top 12. In single file, we're going to start to see here. So this is interesting to see. These guys know they have a long way to go, right? 75 laps, or lap 75 will be the stage end. So right now, you know what? Okay, we raced hard for stage 1. The points, remained what they were. Now it's time to kind of settle in. And I think this is the part where we're going to see these guys really start to kind of figure out, okay, now we have to worry about fuel. Now we have to worry about, tires, right? Things like that. So a lot can happen. Joseph Mealy from the front looking so good. And you can see him. This is a good lap right here to take a look at. Joseph Mealy right now leading the pack in that P1 spot for Murphy Esports. Looking really, really good right now. Doesn't necessarily need this win to advance into the playoffs, but man, he wants to win so bad, I can promise you. Right now being pushed by Marshall Harris, trying to get these points to lock himself into that championship 12, and he's just holding it down on that low line, looking really, really good. Steady wheel too, so Mealy is on the move for sure. Oh, yellow flag is out. Getting word here. Looks like Christian Angel involved. Andrew Phipps, maybe. Can't quite tell who's involved in all that mess, but definitely a couple guys right here. William Griffith as well. Looks like, oh yeah, big time for sure. Let's go back and take a look. So right here, so Christian Angel going to be kind of moving in that middle lane at 75, yellow number. Going to play it out here for a little bit. See what happens here for sure. So he's around Zelazny and Thomas George. I see Griffith right ahead of him. Oh man, Dohar just comes down into Phipps. Oh man, yeah, and just, I mean, Angel has nowhere to go really. I'm guessing Griffith comes across his nose here again. Yep. Oh, man. That's a bummer. So, yeah, Christian Angel, I mean, his teammate, Dohar, just comes down into Phipps. You know, obviously not intentional, I would assume, but, yeah, really, really unfortunate for those guys. We'll go back once more and find out, you know, from a Dohar perspective, what happened here. But man, that was happened all too quick. So there's that 78 black and white car right there up top. It might be a bit early on this replay, but we'll play it out here for a second. So he's going to catch Phipps here, I believe, in turn 3. Yeah, so Dohar, okay, not quite yet. We're gonna wait for it. I want to see what exactly happens here. Yeah, see, he just comes across. I think Dohar thought he was clear, right? That's a typical move of, man, you know, he thought he was clear, but he wasn't, and kills Phipps, unfortunately, and gets involved, or Christian Angel and Grant Salzano. I'm sorry, Griffith involved as well, too. So that's a heartbreak for a couple of guys. I know Christian Angel, man, he's just every single week, and I'm not kidding, every single week, man, he gets involved in somebody else's mess. And here he is again, involved in one more. So at some point, I just understand the frustration. But that is unfortunate right there. So third caution right now of the night on lap almost 40. Going to go back green here in just a second. We were starting to get kind of settled down too, but hey, that can happen, right? Tough racing. This is a race. I'll tell you what, these last probably 3 or 4 races we've had have been bangers, man. Auto Club last week was just so good. And just an overall fantastic race. But considering the aggression levels and, you know, things like that, right, entering this race and what people need, you know, points wise and, you know, all kinds of different things, it's not surprising to me that we're going to see a lot of close quarter combat racing, I guess, close quarter racing. So going to go back green flag here. We'll have 35 laps to go, which they can go on fuel, no problem there at all. going to get a different crowd right here. So Brandon 6, Joseph Mealy up front. Marshall Harris, again, didn't pit in between stage 1 and 2, so he had to go down pit road for fuel. So there he is right there. A couple of guys still working their way up. Frankie Broso mid-pack and a couple more. But here we go. Green flag going to be back out. Resuming stage 2. 6 in Mealy up front. Big tick up kind of in the back of that top 10 right there. Sobel just didn't get it moving. Going to get a big push out of his teammate, Daryl Young. Scott Gasor not too far back either. And then there's Mark Whitley. Christian Angel in the chat. Oh my word. Seeing double in the infield care center. I hate to see that, man. I feel for you. Genuinely. Up front, though, single file so far. And I expect this to kind of calm down here in a little while, but man, anything can happen. Brandon 6, while we're on him and while he's in the lead, he's the kind of guy that all season long has just been a question mark for him, I feel like. He's been fast and dominant at times, but he hasn't really been the Brandon 6 we've seen in seasons past, right? If you followed us for a long time, you'll know that, man, this is a guy who would have led, all stages and gotten all the wins, and we're a couple seasons removed from when he won, I think, 10 races in the entire season. So at some point, what happens? He's locked into the playoffs, but can he get himself this regular season championship? It's still up for grabs for him. He can still do it. And if he does, and gets those extra playoff points, I got bad news for the field, and he'll even tell it to you. The tracks that are coming out for the playoffs suit his style racing big time. So we will see if he can have a Ryan Blaney kind of a championship, I guess, kind of up and down all season, and then comes at it later on. Locking up. And second pack is starting to kind of form here, being led by Marshall Harris, seeing Dohar there, and Nick Lights. A couple of Murphy Esport drivers here. Greg Robinson, Stubblefield. Bunch of guys here making it work. So good stuff right here. Then this big main pack all trying to figure it out with 30 laps to go in stage 1. Right now, taking lap 45. So again, 30 laps to go before the end of stage 2, excuse me. And we all know they can make it on fuel. So it's just a matter of holding on to it. We're going to ride on board real fast. Who can we ride on board? Let's do Daryl Young right here. We all know how good he is at super speedways. And this is one of those tracks that kind of fits into that category. Really pushing his teammate Sobel right here to the lead, maybe. Aggressive on the wheel. Trying to get to the front. Just tough battles. That low line is just not really going to work as we get going here. Almost went 3 wide there. Mealy tried to find a way down low, but didn't quite do it. Highline making it work really, really well right now on lap 47. Again, right now, 2 packs are forming pretty much. Back of the field, we see all these guys about 19th on back right here. In a long line here, just kind of getting it to stage 3. Good call there by those guys as we see it. Sobel and Young still trying to make the down low inside lane work. So far, not working it too good, but it is possible. Update on a couple more guys. Phipps looks like out of the race, unfortunately. Christian Angel. There's Blaze Crawford on the track right now, probably multiple laps down. I know he was just in the contender series, trying to get into the iRacing Coach Series, so good luck to him. He's still eligible for the playoffs as of right now, but and also definitely a favorite, but has to not miss one more race per the league attendance rules, but we will see how that goes. We'll keep you up to date on that, but he is here today. 6, Anderson, Fleming up front, and Brady and Zelazny. A lot of these guys looking pretty good up front. Going aboard the gyro cam, we're going to be on board here, Frankie Barroso. Good angle right here to really show how steep these corners are. And right now, as we work lap 50, you can see we're still too wide. It's a great run off of that outside lane in turn 2. Tires are squealing. Place is not easy. It is just tighter and tighter. And that sun, you can start to see that sheen on the track right there. That sun, we expect it to go down in about probably at the end of this stage. Actually, we'll start to see the sunset kind of transition. Man, really, really cool stuff though so far. Still a big pack. A couple of more guys we want to talk about real fast. Villalobos looking pretty solid right here in P15. Looking good. Kenan Rio looks like his car is actually back to normal. Up here working in P14, so a good job there for him. Making it work. Thomas George wasn't involved in the earlier wrecks, but looks like he is trying to kind of sit back here and hopefully that big one doesn't happen in front of him. It would look like. Kaufman, Bowie. Back to back here, Marshall Harris. So that second lane has caught up. That's notable to mention just a little bit. They're starting to kind of reel themselves in. So these guys all in the back of the field. Dohar as well in front of that. Actually a lap down for Dohar. But he is still right there in behind Marshall Harris, trying to get that thing working on. So good stuff. 6 up front still, and Anderson. Making it work really, really well. So yeah, Dohar is right now the free pass driver. If a caution were to come out. Good stuff so far. So Brandon 6 up front. Anderson, Matthew Fleming, Max Brady as well. So looking pretty good. This was with the track too last season, man. Max Brady won this race. And he was not the leader coming to the line. He was just so super close. I'm sorry, he didn't win. My bad. He saw the checkered flag, but Nick Silver, who filled in for a driver, ended up winning. But man, it all changed right at the corner of turn 4. Pretty wild finish. Right now though, 19 laps to go as we wind this race down of stage 2. Daryl Young still trying to make that work the inside lane with Sobel. He's got Mealy alongside him in the back, and then Dylan Bates. So a lot of these guys trying to just kind of stay in line here. It's tough because you want to get to the front, right? You want to just get there. You want to just make a move. As right now they're going to catch Blaze Crawford, putting him some more laps down. Looks like they're going to choose to pick him up that inside lane here. Interesting call, but maybe a good move. Good stuff right there. Pick up one more fast driver. Smart thinking by the inside lane. Didn't really cost him too much time either, so that's good. That's a good move. Inside lane really starting to move now. Look at Daryl Young trying to catch up. A little bit of tandem drafting right there between Sobel and Crawford, but and again, Crawford is about 45 laps down. He came into the race late, just trying to salvage some points. he could get himself into position, obviously, to affect the race for sure, right? I mean, does he help his teammates? He's got his teammates around him for the most part. Brady kind of in the picture, Fleming, you know, Anderson. So he could play a vital role still in this race as far as who wins. Low lane, though, definitely has that power surge now at this point, trying to make it work. Brandon 6 on the high lane. Jackson Anderson up high as well. Anderson gonna split the move here. Looks like Anderson says, yeah, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with you, Brandon. We are gone. 6 gonna be held out right here. Daryl Young gets 3rd spot in line. So things right now are already shaking up big time as we're seeing it. Big move here. Everyone kind of scattered out. Outside lane, Sobel now leads the race. Daryl Young in the chat. Why did he block that lane 46 laps down? Well, I don't think he's blocking the lane. I mean, he stayed low. I mean, the middle lane or the low line at the time had the ability to move up if they wanted to, right? And go around him, but they chose not to, it looks like, from my view. So, hey. 46 laps down. I mean, I get it. But out here trying to get some points, scavenge whatever he can, and right now looks like he's pulling way back to the end. So good stuff right there. It's all sorting itself out. Sobel going to get freight trained here a bit. Oh no, in the middle. That did not work out well for Daryl Young and Josh Sobel. As now we're about 10 laps to go here for stage 2. And the usual suspects up front. Look at this. Anderson, Fleming, and Brady all up front. Immediately had an issue there. Looks like, oh man, tight right here. 3 wide. Daryl Young up high too. It's going to start to get antsy right now as we see it. Anderson up front. I'll tell you what, this trio right here of Anderson, Fleming, and Brady, so far, it looks like nobody can beat them. Once they get in a line like this, just like stage 1, I don't know who can beat them. They look so fast. But here's the thing. Anderson, you know, what do you do here, right? If you're Fleming, the 88 car, you need a win to get yourself in the playoffs, in the top 12. But also, you realize that if you push Anderson to all these points and stage wins and maybe a race win, guess what? He might win the regular season championship based off of those points he achieved. So as a team owner, what does Fleming do? That's the question. Oh, Salyers really to the wall here, hard. Oh my word, unbelievable job by Salyers to keep it straight. He was absolutely sideways in turn 4, but kept it going. Unbelievable job to keep this race green. And that really checks up the entire field for the most part. Right now we're going to see single file for quite a while. Still about 8 laps to go in stage 1. 2, excuse me. Oh, Dylan Bates. What was that? Oh my word, look at this in the middle of the pack. 3 wide now, Bates and Young. We're starting to see it. The desperation for the points are coming to fruition. Dylan Bates and Brandon 6 just collided together. Super close. Everyone keeps it still going, man. Unbelievable. Anderson up front. Oh, Daryl Young going to be coming back on track, it looks like. Stays straight on the apron. Oh my word. Everyone just doing trick shots left and right. This is incredible. Obviously, he's going to be really upset by that right there, but man, to save it is just crazy. Really good stuff. So single file for the most part, top 10. Back here, we're getting pretty wild too. With 5 laps to go in stage number 2. Definitely getting wild. We're seeing, again, a couple of guys, right? Brandon Bowie, Brandon Six. You know, they're back here, right? 7th and 8th, 9th. Bunch of these guys. Michael Johnson, P27 right now. So these guys, this is not what they need to try and win this regular season championship. Jackson Anderson, though, he is in prime spot to try and get that done. Long way to go still in this AeroDesigns 225, but stage 2 ends in just 3 laps. And right now, Anderson, Fleming, and Brady all in a line right here. Brady is good to go as far as getting into the playoffs. He has that win. But does anybody have anything for the flagship boys? All pushing, all trying to get points. A couple of guys here too. Look at this, that 77 Whitley. He needs points to get himself into the championship altogether. Dylan Bates right there as well. Frankie Barroso not too far back. All these guys fighting amongst each other to get themselves into the playoffs. Whitley making a great move here. Oh, gonna get turned right here into Dylan Bates. Oh my word. Right back on the track. Oh no. A huge wreck. And the yellow flag finally comes out, as Anderson will win stage 2 once more. That is not what Whitley needed to happen right there. Car very well banged up. Dylan Bates as well, I think. Has some right side damage. Maybe not as bad as Whitley's for sure, but unfortunate. Stage would have ended right here anyway, but man, 2 drivers, maybe not out of the race, but heavily damaged. Mark Whitley, a 2-time champion in this series. This might be it. This might be it for his playoff championship 12 hopes. Not good right there. We're gonna go back and take a look, obviously, and find out what happened. That was a lot. Let's take a look. So right here, we're gonna get a decent look. So right now so Whitley is right there in 5th in line. Kind of a checkup here on the high line. Looks like, oh, just a huge checkup. Look at this. Kind of the meat and the sandwich between the 66 and the 23 collides into the 91. And then off they go. We saw the same thing earlier with Kenny Reel. Kind of the same circumstance where they get sandwiched. Whitley tries to come back on track, but just didn't have the turn in, unfortunately, and that is going to be it for Whitley. Could repair it maybe, but we will see. Either way, not good for Mark Whitley's championship hopes right now. Up front, a lot of drivers taking or pitting right now. We'll take a quick second, thank some sponsors real fast, and then we'll come back and talk to your stage 2 winner. right, folks, welcome back. The AeroDesigns 225. Under caution right now. Yellow flag did just happen for a big wreck involving Mark Whitley, Dylan Bates. Big wreck. We're going to go back green flag racing this time by. Stage 2 winner was Jackson Anderson. We talked to him back in Stage 1 when he won that as well, so we'll let him be for now. But to answer a question in the chat, well, Whitley gets points at the stage. So the way ASRA does points is if a caution comes out to end the stage, right, by incident, then they take the top 10 at the time of the yellow flag. So if Whitley was in the top 10 still, like right by the scoring pylon or by, you know, physical where his car was, he'll get stage points depending on where he was. So that could happen, but it just depends on where he was in relation to the frozen or the field freezing at time of yellow. Either way, we said it earlier on, folks, implications. So many things going on right now. Unbelievable. Huge thanks, obviously, to all our partners today. Premier Setup Shop, Harpoon Design. Man, so many good guys today in and supporting us. Admin Box. AeroDesigns, by the way. Huge thanks for them coming on board. The pinned message, actually, in the YouTube chat is their website, so go and check them out. They do professional photography for iRacing paint schemes. They can do any car, any track combination, whatever you want to do. Really high-end stuff. You can check out the website on that link and then click on that photo request form and send it over and they'll get that done for you. Cool stuff at a cheap price. Love that. So right now, lap 78. Stage 2 is over. Fourth caution of the day so far. Not too bad. I actually expected more cautions, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought today would be pretty wild as we try and end this regular season for Season 7 already of the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. A lot of good things happening this season already. And what better way to end the chaos for the regular season at Atlanta. Next week, again, we're off next week for Election Day. We always have a break week anyway in between the regular season and playoffs, so that just happens to work out. And then after that, the following Tuesday is the All-Star Race. So watch our socials for that. We're going to be at Nashville. A lot of fun going to be there. So cool stuff. Playoffs will begin in 3 weeks' time. So cannot wait to get this thing going here. Fleming in Kenny and Real up front on the front row. So here we go. Back green flag racing here for stage 3. Lap 78. Long way to go, just past the halfway point. And the green flag is out. Off we go back again from Atlanta. Looking really good right now for Matthew Fleming, Zelazny. A lot of these guys getting around this 1.5 mile track very quick. And again, nighttime's approaching too. We're going to get some super speedway nighttime action. Cannot wait to get this thing wrapped up. A couple of updates as we see it right now. Front of the field, still going at it. Mark Whitley still on pit road, unfortunately. Griffith as well. Man, big implications. Dylan Bates still in the field as well. So right now, things looking pretty good for Mealy, Frankie Barroso, and Dylan Bates to lock themselves into the Championship 12. Mark Whitley, unfortunately, just one more day, one more race of heartbreak. Fleming, though, out front. I'll tell you what, if Fleming can win this race, or Zelazny or Gasor. Look at Scott Gasorn in P3 right here. Man, look at that. Number 7 machine. Really impressive run so far today. And this is the nice thing about tracks like this, right? Is that this is an equalizer. You can do a lot here. Joshua Sobel in P4. Number 79 machine looking very, very promising so far as well. So these guys can get it done and get their first win at a huge clutch moment. A win and you're in. Is how it works. Zelazny being pushed right here. Kenny Reel, oh man, made a huge late move there in front of Max Brady. That was almost too late, but that was pretty close right there. Everyone's still too wide right now. A couple of guys I haven't seen much of yet, but I'm waiting to see it, is Thomas George right here. In that 17, you'll see him down low in front of his teammate. Actually, in between his teammates, Brandon Bowie, and then Brandon 6 right behind him. So Bowie Esports right now kind of getting in a line on that inner lane there. That could be a good move for them as we get going, because that's the thing, right? At this point, there's no more guaranteed yellows. There's no more guaranteed, anything, right? No more stages. So this thing could end green the entire time, and that would breed a whole new slew of issues, right? Green flag stops. This place is not easy at all to try and pit onto under green. Either way, a long way to go. Can still find their way to the front. Some more guys in the back, though. Bit of a mini pack here. Grant Salzano, Matthew Pont. Mealy is as well back here, holding on, and then Tyler Dohar as well. So these guys in the back. This is not a bad move, I feel like. If you're trying to play it safe, this is not bad, because obviously you want to just avoid the big wreck that I'm sure at some point will happen up here, but we have not seen it yet. But at some point, you just never know. And the thing is, too, and one thing I want to address is that, hey, a lot of these guys, we might see a big wreck here or there, or, we might see a big, again, implications, right? I think to Mark Whitley, just because it just happened, right? If he finds himself not in this top 12 for the championship, you really can't look at this race, right? You can't look at this race. You look at, Auto Club last week where he sped through the pits. Probably should have won that race. Definitely a top 3 opportunity if he doesn't do that right. And those points probably gets him in. Or any other race, right? It's kind of like the official races, right? Where it's like, hey, 17 X's, you get DQ'd. It's not the 17th X that gets you in trouble. It's the 16 before it that you could have avoided. So that's the unfortunate thing, right? It takes 12 races to get to this point. But right now, we are getting down to it. Lap 89 on the docket. Right now, we're going to finally jump on board. Here we go. Devin Smecker, lights just coming on as well on the track. You can see it right there. Starting to get some sunset action going on. Devin Smecker right here in the middle of this pack. Again, he's good to go. He has the win. He's locked into the playoffs, but a win would help. Get 5 more bonus points. Maybe even push the teammates to the win. You never know what can happen here, but a wild card driver in the wild card race. He's got nothing to lose here, so why not just push for it and go for that trophy? Looking really good, though, in that high lane. As the grip levels definitely raise, track time going to be going down lower as the nighttime conditions come in. So that's the good news for these guys. Track should be a lot more comfortable as we get going on. A lot less slidey on the track in those tires. So good stuff so far for Devin Smecker. But a long way to go so far. 60, just under 60 laps to go here in this race. And we're seeing Fleming, Zelazny, and Gasorn all in the top 3. Daryl Young is right there too, and keep in mind, he was he was also sideways. I believe it was turn 1, where he almost met his fate. Right now finds himself, oh no, in a hard spot right here in the middle. Has no help around him. We're going to get freight trained here. Hate to see that, but that can be the beast of super speedway racing. A couple of more guys to watch out for. Jackson Anderson right now in P11 was in the back of the field here at that restart. Not sure what happened there. We haven't gotten a word yet from that. Could have been like a pit road speeding penalty or whatnot. So we've not gotten word about that. Either way, though, making his way back up to the front, already back in P10. So really a pretty good job so far as it is. Matthew Fleming leading some laps here. What a win this would be. Matthew Fleming, I'll tell you what, been around this league now. Oh no, Scott Gasorn and Kenny Reel both collide here. Going to be way off track, so no yellow should happen here. Kenny gets it back going. Gasorn as well, I believe. Yeah, they both get it back going here, but collided, unfortunately, out of turn 4. See if we can real quick find it. Yeah, Gasorn just kind of comes down low into Reel, and they both keep it going. Not much damage, I don't think, on both of their cars, but that's a tough break to get wiped out of that pack. Luckily, it didn't involve more guys. So they will fight and claw their way back up to the front here. Unfortunate. But up front, Fleming, Zelazny, Brady. Your top 3 again. Blaze Crawford, by the way, in that 4th spot in the field. He's not actually P4, he's laps down, but he's obviously trying to help some teammates, and Daryl Young right there behind him as well. Daryl Young was just 3 wide a second ago and lost a lot of time, but finds himself in a good spot now. So long way to go. 3 laps away from 50 laps to go. These drivers can go quite a bit of ways to go on fuel. I expect them to definitely have to pit. It's just a matter of when. Probably once for sure, probably not twice. Again, tires, they're probably going to want to have tires too, but it all depends. These guys could want different things. One thing to watch out for too, that yellow, I'm sorry, the white and red line right there around the apron, they cannot go down below that to advance their position. Same thing you'll see at Daytona, Talladega. They can't go down that to advance their position. If so, they have to give it back, right? They have to give it back to the driver they just passed. So we'll see how that works as the race goes on. This pack really doing pretty good. Brendan 6, Thomas George in the back still kind of just hanging out. Actually, a lot of the Bogey Sport drivers are right here too. So just in this one frame, yeah, Johnson. And again, Johnson's 1 lap down, but right now he's in 24th. So he is definitely trying to get that spot back. We'll let our scoring tower here work its way through. That way you can see what exactly they're going through. Yeah, so Dohar still 1 lap down. Johnson 5 laps down. I'm not sure why he's 5 laps down. We didn't see Johnson get involved in a huge wreck unless he has some kind of internet connection issues. I know that plagues him once in a while, so that's unfortunate if that was the case. So at that point, regular season championship probably going to be out of grabs, I guess, for Johnson, unfortunately, but a couple of guys still at play, right? Brandon 6, Bowie, they're still going for it. But the one who's been doing the best so far today has been Jackson Anderson. And he is catching up to the front of the field. outside right now, already back up to P6. So he is just navigating his way through. Very, very strong car and driver today. Daryl Young going to work the side draft right there up against Devin Smecker. Got a bump Smecker just did by lights. Got to be careful. You can really see the outside lane starting to really, really work its magic right now. Marshall Harris in P11 as well. Man, I'll tell you what, great job for Harris holding on to potentially a top 10 here. But hey, he's in that bubble, right? And this is what I always say about super speedways. Just put yourself in a position to win, right? You might not have the best car, the best, talent level, the best, luck even, right? But at a point like this, right, you just never, ever know. Keep yourself in this top 10, maybe even top 5, right? And at the end of the race, you just don't know what can happen. Maybe the 10 cars in front of you all wreck, right? And he sneaks out and steals one. A lot can happen. Lap 104, though. And man, what a great race so far. Expect to see green flag pit stops, probably not soon, but in the near future. We'll take a quick break real quick. Go race day non-stop. We'll thank some sponsors, folks. But you won't miss any action live on track. Stick around.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers full sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the AeroDesigns 225 right now from Atlanta. Things starting to get spicy right now up at the front. Everyone's trying to make a move here. Devin Sprecher down low. Working it alongside Matthew Fleming. And he has Nick Lights, his teammate, right behind him. Daryl Young getting swallowed up there in the middle as well. But lap 109, just about 40 laps to go here in this race. A couple of different packs obviously forming right now. Kaufman, Stubblefield here, and Mealy. These guys all on the line right here as well. Hoping for a caution to catch themselves up to the front pack. But this is the main pack right now. We've been green now for quite a long time. And so far, really, really good stuff. The great thing is no one's racing like they have to save fuel. So I believe, according to my notes, they might not have to pit, actually. I think they can go 75 laps if that hasn't changed. So they should be good to go on fuel. If yellow comes out, they might want to take tires and things like that. Maybe get a little bit of fuel that does help the overall feel of the car. But so far, Fleming up front, and no one's been able to really pass him. The high line has been just super dominant. Low line just not able to really make a move. Zelazny obviously right there as well. Right behind him, Max Brady, the same thing. So, again, this is kind of one of those things we haven't really talked about today is, as a team, right? What do you do? I know earlier I mentioned, hey, if you're Fleming, do you push, Anderson at the time to the win or to the stages, whatever it might be. But Fleming still needs a win today to get into the playoffs. He is win or he is out as far as Championship 12. As the low line here making a move. Nick Lights giving a great push down low. Might not be enough though, because Bowie is just not that close enough in that pink 34 car. Really impressive so far, but oh, Smecker's off into the apron. That can happen. And the transition here is pretty rough. It's not like super smooth. So it is definitely possible to lose that car completely over that transition of the apron. But Highline so far seems really dominant. Strong cars involved there as well. Anderson right now in that top line. Dylan Bates. Daryl Young too. So a lot of these guys holding on strong as we see it. But if you're Flagship Motorsports right now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 in a line on the top row. Blaze, I guess you can count, even though he's 40 laps down, right? But you've got all 4 of those guys right there on the top line. What's the priority? I guess actually Anderson too. So really you've got Flagship 1 through 5 in a way on track. So what's the priority here? If you're Flagship, as we see Matthew Pont going to be getting lapped down again on the high line. You know, if you're Flagship, you know, is the priority to give Jackson Anderson the regular season champion? I don't know. As that low line finally makes it work here, man. Great maneuver. Smecker going to ditch his teammate, Nick Lights. Oh, big into the wall here. Zelazny hard. Oh, no. That was a bad push gone wrong, I believe. Zelazny going to get sent way back here, unfortunately. Yeah, between Smecker, Fleming, and Zelazny, that's just a huge stack up. We've seen that a couple times today so far. The stack ups really hurt these drivers. They just happen so fast. And the bump drafting is just so different from, you know, Daytona and Talladega. It's not an easy thing, and it's just different, right? And that's just how it can be. Nick Lights, though, and Smecker up front of this race. And again, Nick Lights and Smecker already both locked into the playoffs because of the win for Smecker and the points for Lights. Lights has not won a race yet, so obviously, again, the playoff points, the 5 they could get from winning, could be huge. It's just a matter of who wants it. You know, when do you make it happen, right? Zelazny coming down pit road, it looks like. Yes, he is. Gonna fix some damage here. Huge wreck. Nick Lights, Brady, all kinds of guys here in the front of the field. I believe that was Smecker as well. I saw a pink car, I thought, getting around. Oh man, but Nick Lights gonna get wrapped around here. 5th caution of the night right now on lap 119. That's gonna be huge. This will get the entire field back bunched up. What happened here? Oh, it might have actually been Matthew Fleming. Oh, man. So here we go. Nick Light's going to come down right here in front of Brandon Bowie, but he just doesn't have the room. He's not clear. So Nick, yeah, unfortunately just kind of right into Fleming right here. And yeah, really unfortunate right there. Brady might have escaped that. But yeah, the worst of it happened between Lights and Fleming. Really, really bad news for these two guys. Again, not going to hurt Lights too much because he's already locked in the playoffs, as we already discussed, but definitely not what he wanted to see. But a simple case of, hey, Nick thought he was clear and he wasn't. So, unfortunately, that can happen. And right now, this is going to be key. Why is our camera so... Who is working this camera in turn 1? So there we go. So all kinds of guys coming off of pit road. And this is a good time for 2 tire stops. You'll see a lot of 4 tires, obviously, and some damage being fixed and whatnot, but we're going to see a lot of guys taking 2 tires here, I'm sure of it. Daryl Young going to fix some damage here. Good time to do that as well. Bunch of guys making this happen. So 30 or 29 laps to go at this point. Going to wrap this race up here pretty soon. But good stuff. So Brandon Bowie gets out front first, as well as 6 Smecker, Barroso, and Marshall Harris in P5. So I'll tell you what, a lot of good things happening in the fronts. See Dohar, and I believe that's Johnson. So they're going to get that lap waved around. So Dohar should be back on the lead lap at this point. We'll step aside, folks, real quick. We'll thank some sponsors. We'll come back for the restart. Stick around. Welcome back to the AeroDesigns 225. My name is Steve, and this is race day, and big thanks to all of you folks for watching right now on X and also on YouTube. Love the community we have here. Hit that like button, subscribe button. We're going to end this race here pretty soon, and all of that support goes a long way, so thank you so much. Working our 5th caution of the night. Right now, just about full nighttime conditions in just a couple laps, and we're going to wind this thing down, the regular season finale of Season 7. So who's going to be in the playoffs? Who's going to be out? Pit stop strategies here. Who took 2? Who took 4? Who took no tires? A lot in play. With 27 laps to go. Brandon 6, Brandon Bowie up front. Who can get the job done right now? And back green we are. Bowie off in the lead. We expected chaos, folks, in this race, and right now, with 27 laps to go, the entire field's bunched back up together. What can they do? Who can win this race? Max Brady going to send it down low here. Has no help, though. All kinds of drivers all over the place here. 6 going to get a great push here from Smecker. We just saw Frankie Barroso try and sneak in right there above Joseph Mealy, and he did that. Things are getting heated up front. We're seeing 6 still right there in that number 1 spot. Dylan Bates, though, not too far back, and Scott Cressorn as well. Can one of these guys steal the win? A lot of movement here as well. Daryl Young, 3 wide, hasn't really been able to find a drafting partner, I feel like, in this race. Doing what he can to try and make it happen. Board Devin Smecker real quick, trying to make it work, trying to push Brandon 6 to the lead here. Outside lane definitely seems to be the preferred way to go. You've got to be so aggressive on these pushes at this tight track. And look at Max Brady and Anderson making a move here down low. Unbelievable move right there through the windshield of Sprecher. Oh, huge wreck in the back right here. Scott Gasorn. Nowhere to go, it looks like, for Scott Gasorn. Unfortunate. He was up there in the top 5, just about. And I think this was another single car incident. I don't think he had gotten involved with anybody else, but man, that was a tough moment right there. Oh yeah, I see he's going to get pinched here by the 17, Thomas George. Not sure if he comes down here or comes up. Going to get tangled in with Harris. Barroso here. Blaze going to get involved again in the second incident. Oh man, George going to be hurt with this one. This right here is exactly what we expected to see, right? Intensity in this race. You've got one more shot to get yourself into the playoffs. Obviously, Scott Gasorn tried what he could today. We'll see some guys come down pit road, obviously. Marshall Harris, George, Salzano, Mealy, all bunch of guys here coming down. So, big moment. 22 laps to go. So, we'll go green probably about 20 or 19 laps to go here. Fuel mileage shouldn't be an issue, really, with the front pack guys, but everyone here obviously looking to get some help in some kind of a way. Dohar, I believe, now is back on the lead lap, so he should be good as far as strategies, and takes his 4 tires now, so not a bad move there. Nick Light still on pit road, as well as Whitley. Whitley's still in the race. He's definitely down a couple laps, obviously, but trying what he can to salvage as many points as possible. You know, luck can still happen, right? He can find himself, still in this hunt to try and get into that top 12, but he'll need some, he'll need a bad finish for, either Frankie Barroso, Dylan Bates, guys like this, right? So either way, Max Brady up front right now. Anderson, 6, Smecker, and Bowie, your top 5. So Bates is there for a possible steal. Can win that race. That'd be huge, obviously. Stubblefield in P7. I'll tell you what, Stubblefield right now looking pretty good in that car. What would... this place would go crazy if Stubblefield wins this race. It can happen. Yeah, why not, right? We've seen crazier things that can happen in this series. I can definitely see hashtag Stub Nation winning this race. Austin Salyers right here, the 19. James Kaufman, P11. I mean, hey, Josh Sobel, P12, right? Not too far out of it. Plenty of guys here can make this thing happen. We're going to find out in 20 laps and who wins this race. And plenty of guys are already in, right? They're already in on points, championship points, so no problem there, but man. Who wants the regular season championship, right? That comes into it. A lot will happen. You look at Brandon Bowie, Brandon 6, right? I mean, they're going for the regular season championship. They're already locked in. But now they have to race for themselves and not be teammates, right? To try and get themselves those extra 15 playoff points. So this is going to be pretty wild as we get down to it. Here we go. Pace car off. We're going back green flag racing here. 20 laps to go for the AeroDesigns 225 from Atlanta. And Max Brady leads us off. Big bubble right here for the top of the guys here. Not sure where they wanted to be. Anderson knows he wanted to be right behind Brady. So there they go. Brandon Six is going to have to go somewhere right here. Going to ditch his teammate, both in different lanes right here. And Brady looking pretty good. Brady probably could have won this race last season, but the last lap really just changed. Pretty hectic. Frankie Barroso now making a move here down low. What does he have? He is also, again, not locked in, but he is very close to being locked in. Trying to go for that win, potentially, right now as well. 19, now 18 laps to go. Everyone is working for themselves here. There's no teammates. Brady in the lead right now. Can he win a second race this season? That would definitely catapult some good playoff points for him. Anderson looking for a second win. Six looking for his first win of the season himself. Bunch of guys here. Daryl Young right on the outside lane. Watch out for him though too. He doesn't really have a lot of teammates around him, but he's in that preferred lane. You can see how much that low lane just stacks up right there. Has nowhere to really go. Dylan Bates catching up too. At some point, we're going to see somebody make it 2 and 3 wide. It's just, when does it happen? And can this race stay green? I've got a feeling it won't. There's no way. There's too much on the table for this thing to stay green, right? Too many people need points, need wins. Right now, Daryl Young tries to go down low here. Not a bad move, really. High line was kind of stuck, and Frankie Barroso is a really good pusher. He can maybe make this thing happen. Evan Sprecher not too far back either. In the back a little bit, a couple of guys still making it work. Joseph Millie back here in 18th. Not really where he wants to be. Had good stage points, I believe, but an 18th place finish. He is not that far ahead of Mark Whitley as far as points wise. So if Mealy has got to figure this thing out quick. As up at the front, we're seeing that low line starting to formulate. Daryl Young really making it work, and Frankie Barroso is pushing him hard down low. Daryl winning this race. I'll tell you what, he has won the last 2 regular season finales. They were at Talladega the last 2 seasons, but now we're in Atlanta. He's won the last 2 of them. Can he go 3 straight and be super clutch at the end of this thing? Unbelievable. Trying to do what he can. Frankie's really giving him a good push here. I want to ride on board Frankie real quick and showcase how he's pushing him, how hard he is. Watch the wheel here. Just pushing him so hard. Doing what he can to get him to the front of the pack. We saw Anderson and Brady do the same move. They pulled up in front of the leading Brandon Six at the time. So you can pass down low. It's just super hard. Nighttime conditions right now in Atlanta. Awesome stuff. Really glad they recently added lights here in the sim for this track. This just adds a whole new layer to it. And very fun. Low line still trying to make it work down low. Daryl Young. I'm never going to hear the end of that. Daryl Young on the inside trying to make it work. Brady up front still seeing 4 wide in the back right here. Salyers and Sobel trying to navigate their lanes just a second ago. Devin Smecker not too bad looking either right here on the top side. Fourth in line here, Dylan Bates. Highline really starting to kind of single file out now. This is not what the inside lane wants, I can promise you. They want this thing to be racy as much as they can. 10 laps to go, 9 now at the line to decide this race. And if you're a driver like Frankie Barroso, right, you don't necessarily need to win this race. You just need to do well enough to have the points and you know, move yourself forward. But obviously a win helps. You get those playoff points, a lot can happen. Frankie now has his teammate Brandon Bowie behind him, so at some point, do they make a move? 3 wide now, Josh Sobel, where'd he come from? 3 wide here. Kenny Reel on the outside, not gonna be getting any help. And this is all for that top spot right here. Sobel moves down below Frankie Barroso. Ooh, oh no, huge wreck here. Bowie and Frankie, Josh Mealy. Big wreck right now involved. You just knew it. You just knew this was not going to go the whole way green. There's no way. Too many people need spots, need last minute efforts. And Bowie might have gotten the worst of it right there. That might be a huge blow to his regular season championship hopes. We will see real quick. Let's take a look at, find out what happened here. It all started kind of with, yeah, so Sobel's down low here off the apron. Oh man, Bowie just gets into his teammate Frankie. And around they go. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, Bowie goes around right here. Big damage. Frankie's not a lot of damage, but definitely some for sure. Couple more guys. Mealy has some right front damage as well too, so that's not great for his playoff hopes, obviously. Still trying to get those points to get himself in. Oh man, that car is really beat up. So unfortunate for a lot of key guys trying to get themselves into these playoffs. Bowie already in, but Mealy, man, trying to get himself locked in. Not good right there. And one thing these guys have to keep in mind too, which most of them probably don't contend for, you get 5 bonus points for having a 0x race, meaning a clean race. So that could be huge in deciding, you know, where you finish in the playoffs, right? Or where you finish trying to get into the playoffs. So that could be massive. That's a free 5 points if you keep your car clean. And that could be enough, right? Maybe it's enough for Brandon Six to win the regular season championship, right? Or maybe it's enough for, you know, I don't know, Dylan Bates to lock himself into the top 12. You know, things like that. Or these drivers in their cars look pretty good. Actually, Dylan was involved in an earlier incident, so he's probably not going to have that clean race award, but it can happen. Someone's bound to have it. Usually does. And right now, pretty good race so far with 5 laps to go. Let's take a quick break. Thank a couple sponsors, folks. Before we go back green, we'll come back and finish this race off. The AeroDesigns 225. All right, here we go. The AeroDesigns 225. We're going to end this race pretty quick. Will we get a green, white, checkered finish? Or will this race end under normal conditions here in 3 laps? We're going to go not quite a natural green, white, checkered flag finish, but just about. Max Brady, Devin Smecker up front, Anderson, Daryl Young right there, Brandon Six, and Kenny Reel. All kinds of drivers in the front of the field who can get this thing done. Here we go. Green flag is back out. And 3 laps to go here from Atlanta. Inside line did not get a great jump right there, as we see Anderson and Brady going to get a great push. There comes Daryl Young to the rescue for Smecker. Brady going to get a huge push here. At some point, when does Jackson make his move? Or does he, right? Is he happy with the second place finish? I doubt it. He wants that second win on the season. 2 laps to go here. Inside line is just not making enough room. They're not making up the space they need. Daryl Young's a great pusher. He can push. Oh no, huge wreck right here. That's going to be another caution flag. Oh no, huge wreck, the big one. And I think that right there was just the result of a push gone wrong. Brady and Anderson steal it, or get through it at least. Man, but it all started, I believe, with maybe Daryl Young and Brandon Six. I couldn't quite tell in the moment, but we'll go back and take a look here. Try and find out what happened, man. Yeah, so again, I mean, Smecker comes across the nose of Daryl here, but again, I'm not sure if I want to rewind it just a bit because I can't tell if Daryl comes down into him or things like that, right? So we missed it, of course. Okay, so here we go. So he's pushed. So Daryl Young, the white number 71, he's pushing Smecker right here. So yeah, so it looks like Young is trying to maybe go middle, maybe fake middle. Yeah, and then it looks like Smecker just tries to block that move that Young was trying to make. And that is it. It would appear. Oh man, Sobel cut some air right there. Not good. Nick Light's involved. Smecker, obviously. Kaufman got it pretty hard. Six might be okay. It's hard to tell, really. Oh no, some pancake the left side of that car. Nick Light's kind of got through it. Yeah, really tough break for a lot of these drivers here. Par for the course, though, we expected to see some intense racing, right? I mean, that's just how this race can go, and we're seeing it play out right now. So, our first official green-white checkered will happen now. Again, we get 3 of them, so if you're new to the racing world or NASCAR-style racing, so we get 3 of these. So, right now, we're going to go back to the restart. If we get a yellow flag before the white flag, we'll restart again and we'll try it again. If we get the yellow flag, or I'm sorry, if the leader takes the white flag, then the next flag will end it. We will end the race at the checkered flag, and that'll be it. We get 3 of these, so that all can go out the window if this happens 3 times. On the 3rd time, if it were to happen, the race ends, essentially, at the time of yellow. So the field will freeze. They'll still have to come around and take the checkered flag under yellow, but the field will freeze as far as positioning at yellow. So a lot going on here, but man, look at what this does to the field. Max Brady, top row. Okay, going to get pushed here by Jackson Anderson. Very clear. But then look at the guys around him. Man, Grant Celzano. Just a really bad luck season, and here he is in the front row. possibly able to win this race. Matthew Pont, Kenny Reel, Zelazny, Dylan Bates, Marshall freaking Harris in P8 right here. Oh my word. Sobel, the whole top 10. This is just, man, this is what you want to see. Max Brady, we know, has won a race this season so far. Jackson Anderson won his first race of the season. So these guys have the wins, right? And right now, Jackson's chances of wrapping up that regular season title is looking very, very good with Bowie, Johnson, and 6 nowhere to be seen. So do we get a first-time winner today, folks, at the clutch line? Or will it be Max Brady or Jackson Anderson padding onto their stats? Here we go. First, green, white, checkered. And the green flag is back out. Low line just did not go at all. So the high line's going to be it. Going to be a huge stack up right behind him. Oh, my word. Crazy stuff. So Max Brady, Jackson Anderson, Kenny Reel, though, and Dylan Bates, when do they make their move? Here comes Zelazny down low. Dylan Bates going to try and make a move here. Oh, the big yellow flag is going to be out for sure. Huge wreck right here again. Frankie Barroso, I believe Mark Whitley involved. All kinds of drivers back here. It is Whitley, Sobel, Barroso, and I think Johnson might have snuck through as well there on the far right side. Oh, man. So one more time, we will try. And that right there is going to be maybe the as he hobbles over to his pit box. Man, unfortunate for a lot of these guys. But did we expect any other kind of a finish other than this one? We'll watch from the Frankie Barroso angle here. Oh, Smecker on the left side kind of just gives Whitley a shove right there. Just a bad bump, quite frankly. And man, yeah, all these guys just involved right here. Stubblefield, man, having a good run. Some net code right there. Stubblefield going through that 77, but yeah, tough break even for Frankie. Frankie did not need this, but man, that is a close battle here. A lot of banged up cars. Frankie might be able to continue. Sobel as well. Looks like their cars can continue, but not going to be the happiest thing in the world. Yeah, should be able to continue there for Sobel. Man, tough racing at the end, right? Super tough. Up front, though, Brady Anderson, still your top two. It seems likely right now that these guys, one of these guys are going to win, because it's so tough to, get the restart going, right? And then, kind of get that win, right? It's so difficult to, especially, for these two guys who their cars are pretty well intact and obviously have shown speed all race long. The flagship boys have been very, very fast in all three stages, really. So Kenny Reel still there, right? Dylan Bates. I mean, man, they were just about to make a move. Dylan Bates went down low right there. So I really feel like, man, if this thing stays green, for both laps, right, and we get to see them race it out for the checkered, I've got a feeling we'll see them, right there. Grant Salzano didn't get a great run on the exit, but that can happen. Zelazny going to get gifted. Look at this. So the top four all choose the high line. And Zelazny now gets to go to that front row. A lot of interesting things here. A lot of storylines, right? And this is the bad news. If you're a Frankie Barroso, Whitley, even Dylan Bates or Mealy, if one of these new winners wins, guess what? They're in. And one of them are out. So that's the huge news about this, right? You look back at Daytona in the NASCAR playoffs, or not playoffs, but the NASCAR schedule, right? John Hunter Nemechek, was that who it was? Who won the race? Oh no, it was it's going to escape me now. But he won Daytona, and man, he was like 30th in points, and he was in the playoffs. So that same kind of thing can happen right now for a lot of guys in this top 10, top 8 really. So we'll see. Can anybody best the flagship motorsports drivers of Brady and Anderson? We're going to find out right now. 2 laps to go. This is the second green-white checkered attempt. Here we go. Green flag back out. We're going to try it. Highline did not get a great jumper here at all. Anderson might have enough here to actually eclipse his teammate. We'll see. Zelazny going to get the lead right here, actually, from it. Moves him up. So Zelazny up high. Nick Light's going to try and thread the needle here. Look at this. Kenny Reel also down low as well. He is right there trying to make it work. Will we get the white flag? Yes, we do. The white flag is out. Sponsored by Cardano. And Max Brady, Trevor Zelazny didn't get it going. Nick Lights is right there. What can he do here? It's going to be a mad dash for the white flag. Marshall Harris not too far back either. Who can get the job done? Big wreck in the back. At the line, it's going to be Max Brady, I think. Maybe Trevor Zelazny. Who won this race? Unbelievable. It might have been Trevor Zelazny by nothing. Who was it? Trevor Zelazny, I believe, stole this win away from Max Brady in the entire field. Confirmation, it is so close, 0.00 second. That's it. Trevor Zelazny is the winner today from Atlanta for the AeroDesigns 225. And Zelazny will be locked in to the Championship 12 from a last lap clutch play. Just like that, folks. It can happen that quick. Trevor Zelazny has found himself in the most improbable way of getting himself into the playoffs. He is here, and he is him. Championship 12, here he comes. Trevor Zelazny is the winner for today's AeroDesigns 225. Unbelievable job. And yes, we are going to go back and take a look at that finish real fast. I want to just go and grab it, man. Unbelievable. There's a wreck as well, but this right here is just super important. So here's the finish. I don't have a side-by-side on the start-finish line, but we'll see it right here. Man, take a look at this. Just pulls down low. I don't know if Brady didn't really expect that, but just came right down on him. And at the line. Man, it's that close. It looked way closer live, I will say. But Zelazny absolutely steals it away. Unbelievable. Let's watch the entire white flag back real quick, actually. I mean, look at that. Zelazny gets banked out of the way here by Brady. And that was it. Snuck his way back into the middle. Brady goes way down low, blocks that low lane. Man, they were coming hard. Nick Lights and Marshall Harris. And then right here, Anderson's really pushing. Hits Zelazny, and that creates a huge mess back there. And then Zelazny still has enough oomph. Boom. Little bump there. Man, Brady just didn't see it coming, I guess. Maybe he thought he might go high, but kept it going. And Zelazny stole the win. Unbelievable job for Zelazny to get this thing taken away. Good stuff right there. Unbelievable. We'll take a quick break, folks. Thank just a couple of our sponsors, as they always are so good to us. We'll come right back. We'll talk to your top three: Nick Lights, Max Brady, and Trevor Zelazny. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the end of the AeroDesigns 225. Go and check them out. The pinned message on the YouTube chat is the website. Go and check it out. Get yourself some awesome photographs for your iRacing car. Man, right now, unbelievable. My voice was already shot today, but it is gone now. Nick Lights, we're going to bring in first. We always go 3, 2, 1 here, so we're going to bring him in real quick and talk to Nick Lights. Where can we find him? Here he is. Nick Lights, man, what a charge you had at the end of this race. I know you were kind of involved in many different things, but at the end, you were coming real hard, and you just you kind of got stopped right there, I feel like, by Max Brady, man. Either way, P3, you're in the playoffs. So you already were, actually, based on points, so good stuff there, man. But how do you feel, dude, after that roller coaster of a race?
Yeah, that was it was different for sure. That last, I think, green white checkered was crazy. I don't know where I restarted, but I was in the back and just got a good run out of those couple corners. I don't know how I even got up there, but we did, and so close to a victory again. But excited for the playoffs and see what we can do in that. Hopefully we can win in there and take home the championship.
Yes, sir, man. It's come really close a couple times, and obviously that win's coming, I feel like, especially with results like this, right? You're starting to really kind of nail it down. So good stuff, man. Real quick, as always, give us a shout out for your sponsors or friends and family, man. What you got?
Yeah, shout out to Freak Bob and whatever the other guy is, what Devin said. Cardano, Husky, those guys. It wouldn't be possible without them, so appreciate it. Murphy Esports, all my teammates. Hopefully Joe's in the chase of the playoffs. And yeah, thanks to you, Steve, for this broadcast you're doing.
Good stuff, man. Hey, we'll see you next. Actually, we won't see you next week. See you in 2 weeks for the All-Star race, man. Good stuff. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Love you.
Good stuff from Nick Lights. Okay, next we're going to bring in Max Brady, and we're going to ask him. I'm already starting to see tin hats in the chat. Uh-oh. Let's take a look real quick. Max Brady going to be in P2. Let's bring him in real quick. Max Brady, here he is, finishing P2 on the day. Man, you had a crazy good race today so far. Or not so far, it's over, but really good job. I feel like Flagship in general was really just kind of a complete unit today as far as drafting and partners, and you guys were really making it work. Talk to us real quick about that last 2 laps. Obviously, you saw that you kind of came down low, in front of Nick Lights. We're watching it live, the replay. And then, kind of banged Zelazny out of the way on the white flag lap, and then it kind of all went down. So just talk to us, man. How did that last 2 laps go for you?
Yeah, well, first of all, I finally put a clean race together. It feels like ever since my other Flagship motor partner Blaze Crawford, he's a big dog now. He's in the iRacing Pro Series. I didn't get there. I'm washed on that side of the end. But ever since he hasn't been here, because he's missed a couple races, I have just been absolute trash. I think I've wrecked out of the last 3 races. So it was actually nice to get to. Well, it was nice to see the finish line first, because I don't think I finished the race in a while, and it was nice to run up front. And everybody at Flagship Motors, we had like 4 or 5 drivers, so we were all able to just get up there and run the top side. I think that was the preferred group tonight. So, I mean, yeah, Jackson swept both stages. Trevor won. I got second. So that was nice. Yeah, the last 2 laps, I mean, we were working together until the backstretch coming to the white. That was like our whole goal. So I was pushing Trevor coming off of 4, coming to the white, and I guess I just pushed him too hard in the right rear, and it got him like squiggly. Thankfully, he saved it. And then, geez, the last lap, yeah, I saw Lights have a humongous run, because I think when I pushed Trevor there, it stacked up the top, so he had a huge run, so I blocked it. And then Trevor had a big run, so I blocked that. And they all wrecked, and everybody, it was just Nick, Trevor, and me, and I was kind of just like a lone dog out there. Once you get like away from everybody in these cars, they bog down real bad. So I think Trevor he got like just a little push from Nick, and it gave him a huge momentum. And I thought he was gonna go top, so I went to like go top a little bit, and then he cranked it down low, and he just nipped me at the line. But I mean, other than that, a great race for everybody. I mean, I know that I lost it, and I wish I won that race, because this is my home track and everything, and the 5 bonus points would have been nice. But on the bright side, at least another flagship car got a win.
Yes, sir, man. And obviously, hey, the season's been up and down for you, but you have that win, right? You have good finishes. I really feel like you're that caliber driver to kind of really make a good push throughout the playoffs. I think it's going to happen, honestly. And we've got a week now to kind of rest. You know, next week we're off, and then the week after that, the All-Star race, which is kind of a, exhibition, whatever, kind of a fun time. And then after that, now we get down to business. So, hey, you know what? Not too bad, man. Really, really good stuff, though, either way. Give us a quick shout out to your friends and family, sponsors, man. What you got for us today?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to shout out the big Trevor for dubbing up this race. I think he had to win the race to get into the playoffs, so good for him. Happy for him. Shout out to my spotter, Blaze Crawford. You know, he got a nice little P11 in the Pro Series race. I think he is almost locking himself into the big league, the Coke Series. So shout out, Blaze. And then our sponsors, want to thank Plum Dog Auto Repair, San Antonio Karting Complex, Wheels America, Texas OEM Wheels, Osus Sim Racing, Southern Diesel Solutions, and Harpoon Design for the amazing paints. And obviously want to thank Flag Motors for the big motor today.
Hey, man, good stuff. Get some rest next week, and then we'll see you, man, in a couple of weeks. Good stuff today, dude.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, there he is. Unreal. Good stuff today. We're going to bring in the winner, though, Trevor Zelazny. Let's get them all situated here. Man, look at that big bobble right there. Unbelievable how we got away from that. Let's sneak him in. There's the man of the hour right there. Trevor Zelazny, the winner of today's AeroDesigns 225. An absolutely unbelievable job. You were kind of getting close a couple times this season. Came in second place, I believe. I think it was Talladega, maybe. I can't recall at this point, but came so close a couple times. Auto Club, you looked really good. And today, you just put the whole thing together, man. And just an unbelievable job. Your first career win in the series could not have come at a more clutch time to get yourself locked into the top 12 for the championship, dude. How do you feel?
I feel phenomenal. I don't know. I got goosebumps. I'm numb. I'm super excited. I feel shaky. I just want to start this out by thanking Vector. I know he's a great super speedway racer. He showed me how to hold a pretty wheel when getting pushed and everything. So huge shout out to Vector over there. No, we were working great as a team throughout the stages and the race with Max, Jackson, and Fleming. Those guys, we did awesome. All 4 leading that top lane. Stage 1, stage 2 was even better. Started with stage 3. I mean, phenomenal. We were all 4 up there. Then Devin got ahead of us, stacked us up a little bit. I gave Matthew a little bump, and for some reason it shot my car to the right. So I got a little right front damage, ended up pitting. Got lucky with a caution. Got the lucky dog. Was able to come back around. Then green white checkers, one of them green white checkers, I came down to fix the rest of my damage, and I decided I was going to put my last set of freshies on there. go back green, and the difference in tire was amazing. It felt so much better, and I was able to drive it down into 3 and 4 and get a run on the guys. Then another caution comes out. 4 cars in front of me, I never expected them to give me the front row on fresh tires either. So it just kind of played into our favor, kept our head in the game. Like I said, huge shout out to Max, Jackson, and Fleming for keeping their heads in it too and working as a team together.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Right now we're watching the replay actually as we're talking to you. And Max Brady, we just talked to a second ago. I mean, yeah, he kind of like hit you on the beginning of the white flag lap, and you kind of bobbled way down towards the apron. Luckily, you didn't wreck it then. And then coming out of the backstretch and then 3 and 4, it looks like you kind of had like a head of steam after that big wreck behind you. And then you kind of just pulled down low on the inside of Max Brady. Max just said he thought you were going to go high. So was that ever a thought for you? And it kind of just seemed like you just kind of scoot on by and off you went. But really, really good job. Either way, you kind of faked him out.
Yeah, no, coming out of 4, I knew they were coming with a head of steam, but they caught me at a bad time with the push, and it really shot me down low. I didn't expect to save it, though, and, keep up as much momentum as I did. So I was able to jump up in front of Jackson, and then backstretch. It was every man for himself on the backstretch. Nick Lights come up with a full head of steam. That got blocked. Then I was able to get, entering 3, they wrecked behind us. I was able to get a tiny bump from Lights going out of 4. I was gonna go high. I saw Max go to the right a little bit, so I just cranked the wheel left and got his quarter panel, which really sucked him back. Really pulled his car back to me, and then was able to jump down to the red line down there and pull it off right at the line. It was awesome.
Yeah, man, awesome job again. It's just a huge win, your first win, and man, I love seeing that. I believe, if my math is correct, the 11th winner in 13 races this season. Just an incredible stat, and you're just a part of that now too, man. So good stuff. Next week, obviously, we're off for election day, and then after that we have the all-star race in a couple of weeks, which, by the way, you're now involved in, which is pretty cool with the win today. So a couple of weeks to kind of take off and kind of refocus in before the playoffs, man. So real quick, give us a shout out for sponsors, man, friends, family. What you got for us today?
First, is that a record for ASRA? Most winners in a season?
Oh, we blew past that record about 5 races ago. So yeah.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Sweet. Well, congrats to you for that. Shout outs. I'd like to thank Flem Dogs Auto Repair, San Antonio Karting Complex, Wheels America, Texas OEM Wheels, Oasis Sim Racing, Southern Diesel Solutions, Harpoon Designs for the paints the teammates run, Z's 1RC Raceway out of Bennington, Nebraska, and Mirage Raceway Park out of Fremont, Nebraska. And then last but not least, my parents, my family, and most of all, my girlfriend for all the support.
Awesome job, man. Hey, great win again. Congratulations. Go and celebrate, dude. We've got 2 weeks until playoff time. A long time to celebrate. Maybe even sober up after that celebration, huh? So good stuff today, man. And hey, good stuff. We'll catch you next time, dude. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome stuff, folks. For Trevor Zelazny, man, what a time to win at the buzzer beater. Unbelievable job. Zelazny gets it done. Wins today from Atlanta. Official results on the left side of your screen. We'll let that play for a second. We're going to get points wrapped up and counted and all kinds of fun stuff tonight, folks. Be sure to watch out for our socials. Follow us on ASRA iRacing, or at ASRA iRacing on X, and you can follow us there for all the updates as far as what to look forward to as far as points and whatnot. That way you can see all the standings. We'll be covering that over the next couple of days. But awesome stuff. Cannot wait to see how this thing wraps up. I wish we had some live points like the real boys do, but unfortunately, iRacing stuff is limited. But it's all good. Catch us on our social medias accounts. And next Tuesday, again, we're off. Election day. So going to be fun to do that. Go out and vote, folks. Big, big day for the country. It always is. And cannot wait to see everyone back in 2 weeks for the All-Star race at Nashville. Going to be a lot of fun. But from race day, this is us, folks. ASRA, Harpoon Design, Cup Series. Huge winner. Trevor Zelazny wins the race today. And unbelievable time. So we'll see you later on, folks, in 2 weeks. And again, watch the socials for all the updates. But have a good night, folks. We love you.